What's up, guys? This is DJ Holland with the Wolverine.com, and Michigan has scored another big win on the recruiting trail. Before we talk about that, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free, get notifications every time we drop new videos. You know, commits are coming at a rapid pace, so you want to subscribe, get those notifications, like this video. It helps us get in front of other Michigan fans. And if you are not a subscriber to the Wolverine.com, now is the time to do so. Use the promo code UM1. That's $1 for 2 months over at the Wolverine.com. Get exclusive insider information on everything Michigan recruiting. The trail is heating up. A lot of upcoming announcements, some big ones from Travis Johnson to Andre Clark to Calvin Russell. There are a lot of big-time recruits set to make their announcements. Get the latest intel on all of them over at the Wolverine.com for just $1 for 2 months using that promo code UM1. All right, guys, like I said, Michigan has scored another big commitment on the recruiting trail. This time, it comes from top 100 offensive tackle Malakai Lee, who has long been a priority for Michigan. Lee made a visit to Michigan last summer and picked up an offer while he was on campus. And ever since then, Michigan has made him a top of the board priority. Grant Newsome has been racking up the frequent flyer miles, heading out to Hawaii on numerous occasions. Sharon Moore, Michigan's head coach, has been personally involved in this recruitment as well. And Lee was just one of those guys that I always felt like the Michigan staff sat down and said, we cannot miss on this guy. We need to land Malakai Lee. He's always been graded as a top of the board priority for Michigan. Now, there was a time earlier this offseason where it appeared that Lee was trending towards USC. If you remember, the On3 recruiting prediction machine was heavily favoring the Trojans, but things kind of just fell through with USC. And Lee started to pick up a lot of interest from SEC programs. You had Alabama get involved. You had Georgia get involved. You had Texas get involved. And I think Texas kind of rose up as the team that was really the biggest threat to land him. Texas is spending big with NIL. They've done great landing Polynesian players in the past. And I just think that Texas did a great job of recruiting him in general, and he really loved his visit there. But Michigan was always the constant with Lee. I mentioned Newsome always flying out to Hawaii, Sharon Moore being personally involved. They spent so many resources. Sean McGee, Michigan's general manager, as NIL became more of a factor later in this recruitment, he was heavily involved with Lee as well. So I think that, again, Michigan just invested so many resources in him. Michigan was always the constant. They had recruited him the longest. He had the best relationships with Newsome and Moore. And Michigan was able to get him on campus last, too, for Victor's Weekend. I think that was a big deal because earlier this summer, it appeared like Michigan was losing momentum. They got that back during Victor's Weekend. And I think you have to give a lot of credit to Sharon Moore, who is personally still involved in a lot of these big elite offensive line battles, as well as Grant Newsome. So Michigan sealed the deal this week. They beat out Texas. They landed Lee. And now Michigan has its true tackle. Going into this cycle, it was imperative for Michigan to land a true tackle. Malakai Lee is that. He's listed at 6'7", 310 pounds. I haven't had a chance to evaluate Lee live, but I did see him in the Big House last fall, and he is a mountain of a man. You're talking about a massive frame, a guy who just looks like he's a college-ready tackle. And I think Lee does a fantastic job on film of utilizing just his sheer size and strength and power. He has pretty good feet for how big of a guy he is. He's pretty athletic as well. I think he can continue to improve his footwork and just his overall technique and pass sets. But I think there's a lot to like about what Malakai Lee can become. There's a reason that Michigan took a can't miss approach with Malakai Lee. He is one of the premier offensive tackles in the country. And so now Michigan, starting to get rolling on the recruiting trail in general. 3 offensive line commits. You have Lee, who's that true tackle. You have Marky Walbridge, who projects as a tackle but can swing inside. And you have Bear McWhorter, who's that natural interior offensive lineman who likely plays center or guard. Michigan would like to take one more. John Turntine is at the very top of the wish list. He makes his decision on July 4th. We'll see if he joins Lee or not. And like I said earlier, if you want the latest intel going into Turntine and others' decisions that are coming up here in a week throughout July, make sure to head over to thewolverine.com. Use that promo code UM1. That's $1 for 2 months over at thewolverine.com. And as always, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free, and we'll be back next time Michigan receives a commitment.